Have you ever noticed how some people command a room without uttering a word? Their calm presence pulls everyone in, like gravity, radiating strength that needs no defense. This is the secret of mastering the art of not arguing. By choosing silence over shouting matches, you gain an edge sharper than any comeback. You become a mystery. Unshakable. Untouchable. Today, we dive into why dodging arguments is not about backing down, but about rising above. Stick around, because this wisdom could transform how you navigate conflict and project power in a noisy world. Let us explore the quiet strength that sets you apart. 1. Winning without words, silence in action. Ever watched someone diffuse a heated moment with just a calm look? That is the strength of silence at work. Welcome back to our journey on mastering the art of not arguing. In this final section, we explore how to apply silence in everyday life, turning tense moments into victories without a single shout. Let us see how quiet strength can transform your relationships, work, and online presence. Silence is not just a shield, it is a strategy. When you skip arguments, you keep your power intact. Imagine a coworker throwing a jab in a meeting, hoping to spark a fight. If you bite, you fuel their drama, and everyone watches the chaos unfold. But if you stay calm, nod, and shift focus to the task, you end the conflict before it starts. Your silence says, "I am here to work, not wrestle." That move earns respect, not because you fought, but because you rose above. In personal relationships, silence is even more potent. Picture a loved one lashing out, their words sharp with emotion. Your instinct might be to fire back, matching their heat, but that escalates, turning love into a battlefield. Instead, pause, take a breath, say, "I hear you," or nothing at all. Let their storm pass. Your calm shows strength, not surrender. It keeps your bond safe, letting you address the issue later, with clarity, not rage. Online, silence is your filter. Social media is a shouting match, with critics tossing barbs to provoke. Jump in, and you become another voice in the noise. Your authority fading with every reply. But stay quiet, and you stand out. Ignore petty jabs. Respond only when it aligns with your goals. Your silence says, "I choose my battles." That choice keeps your focus sharp, your presence strong, while others drown in digital chaos. Why is silence so hard? Because our ego craves the win. It whispers, "Fight back, be right, be seen." But giving in pulls you into traps. Every argument reveals your triggers, teaching others how to push you. Silence, though, keeps you a mystery. You watch, you learn, you stay unreadable. That mystery unnerves people. They wonder, why so calm? That wonder builds your influence, making you the one they cannot shake. This is not about never speaking. It is about speaking with purpose. When you do talk, make it count. In a heated debate, wait. Let others exhaust themselves. Then, with a few clear words, shift the tide. Say, "Let us find a solution," and move on. Your brevity cuts through the noise, showing control. People remember your calm, not the chaos. Here is how to do it. When challenged, pause. Feel the urge to argue, but let it pass. Ask, does this fight matter? If not, smile. Say, I get it. Or stay silent. In meetings, listen more than you speak. When you contribute, make it sharp, focused, game-changing. On social media, skip the urge to clap back. Let critics shout into the void. Your silence is your strength, saving energy for what drives you forward. In business, let results speak. A client questions your work. Do not defend. Deliver better. A rival taunts. Outperform them. Your success is your voice, louder than any argument. In leadership, stay steady when panic hits. Your team will lean on your calm, not your explanations. That trust is power, built not by words, but by presence. Silence also teaches you. When you hold back, you see more. You spot patterns, motives, weaknesses. That insight lets you move smarter, not louder. Every argument you skip is a chance to learn, to grow, to stay ahead. You become the one who acts, not reacts, winning without wasting breath. This is the heart of not arguing self-mastery. You do not need to prove yourself when your strength is clear. Silence lets you stay focused. Unshakable. Untouchable. It turns conflicts into opportunities, enemies into allies, noise into clarity. As we close, carry this. The quietest person often holds the most power, not because they demand it, but because they live it. 2. The steep price of arguing and the strength of silence. Have you ever left a heated debate feeling empty? Like you lost more than you gained? That is the hidden cost of arguing. Welcome back to our journey on mastering the art of not arguing. In this section, we reveal how verbal battles drain your power and why silence is your secret weapon, keeping you strong and enigmatic. Let us dive into this game changer. When you argue, you walk into a trap. You enter someone else's arena, dancing to their tune. Every word you speak pulls you deeper into their mess. You think you are standing up for yourself, but you are giving away your edge, your calm, your focus, your mystery. The second you engage, you show where you bend, where you break. That is a blueprint for anyone who wants to shake you. Arguing burns energy. Every sharp retort, every raised voice, every moment spent proving your point steals your clarity. You could be creating, planning, or simply staying centered. But instead, you are tangled in a fight that changes nothing. People do not hear you when they argue. They guard their pride. Your words, no matter how clever, hit a wall, leaving you spent and them unmoved. Now, picture silence. Not a weak quiet, but a bold, unshakable calm. When you skip the argument, you stay above the storm. You keep your strength, your peace, your power. Silence is a mirror, bouncing their words back at them. They want you to jump in, to feed their drama. But when you stay steady, you throw them off. They stumble, unsure, and that shift is your upper hand. Silence does more. It creates intrigue. When you hold back, people wonder, what is going through your mind? Why are you so composed? That curiosity makes you larger than life. You become a puzzle they cannot solve, a presence they cannot ignore. In a world screaming for attention, the quiet one stands tall. Your silence is not empty, it is magnetic, drawing respect without a word. Arguing strips you bare. You show your heart, your need to be right, your fear of being wrong. That need is a crack in your armor. It says you care what they think, that their words can sway you. But silence, it says you are complete, untouched by their noise. You do not need their agreement to stand firm. That confidence is what makes you untouchable. Then there is the fallout. Arguments leave wounds. Even if you win, the other person feels stung, humiliated, pushed aside. Those feelings do not fade. They fester, growing into resentment or quiet grudges. You might claim the point, but you lose their trust, their openness. Every clash risks turning a neutral into an enemy. Closing doors you might need later. Silence, though, opens path. It shows you are not here to crush, but to see. When you stay quiet, you let others spill their thoughts, their fears, their flaws. You learn what drives them, what they hide. That knowledge is your leverage. It lets you move with precision, not impulse, building bridges where arguments would burn them down. Another truth: arguments lock you in the moment, chasing a quick win. Silence keeps your eyes on the prize. You stay clear, focused on what matters, not distracted by petty fights. That clarity lets you act with purpose, turning challenges into stepping stones. You save your strength for the long game, not wasting it on fleeting spats. Here is how to use it. When someone pushes you to argue, stop, take a breath, let their words hang. If you must speak, keep it short. I understand. Or, let us move forward. Then let silence work its magic. That pause shifts the dynamic. They expect a fight, but you stay cool. Their energy fades, while yours grows, keeping you sharp and in control. Silence is not just about dodging drama. It is about guarding what makes you powerful, your focus, your mystique, your strength. Arguing gives that away. Silence builds it up. It is your fortress, keeping you steady when others falter. As we head to the next section, we will see how silence becomes your greatest shield, outsmarting chaos with quiet power. 3. Silence, the voice of unshakable influence. Have you ever felt a room shift when someone stays calm amid chaos? That is the magic of silence. Welcome back to our journey on mastering the art of not arguing. In this section, we uncover how silence speaks with unmatched authority, steering outcomes without a single shout. Let us explore why holding your tongue is the ultimate key to commanding respect and shaping the world around you. When you argue, you plead. You step into a verbal storm, begging to be heard, to be right, to be seen. Each word screams, "Please agree with me." But that plea dims your strength. It shows you need others to nod, that their doubts can rattle you. The moment you debate, you play their game, swaying to their rhythm. You trade your calm for their chaos, chasing a hollow victory that leaves you drained. Silence, though, is a throne. It lifts you above the fray, steady and untouched. When you choose not to argue, you show no hunger for approval. You stand like a mountain, unmoved by jabs or taunts. That quiet says, "I am enough." It draws others in, not by force, but by gravity. They pause, curious, pulled to your stillness. Your presence alone shapes the room. No words needed. This wisdom is timeless. Great leaders, from ancient generals to modern icons, ruled not by shouting, but by staying composed. They knew arguing betrays doubt, a flicker of insecurity, silence. However, radiates certainty. It shows a mind so anchored, it needs no defense. By mastering your emotions, you master the moment, guiding others without lifting a finger. Arguing pulls you into the now. Reacting to every jab, you let others set the pace, dragging you into their whirlwind. Each comeback ties you tighter to their script, but silence keeps you free. You observe. You weigh. You choose. That freedom is your power. It lets you move with purpose, not passion, turning heated moments into chances to shine. Silence shapes how you are seen. An argument paints you as needy, scrambling to prove your point. But quiet strength makes you towering, a mystery others cannot crack. People trust what they cannot fully know. Your silence sparks questions. What drives them? Why so calm? Those questions build your influence, crafting a legend without a word. Consider real life. In a tense meeting, the loudest voice fades fast, but the one who listens, who speaks only when it counts, they own the room. Their silence is not empty, it is heavy, deliberate, commanding. It shifts focus, making others lean in, eager for their next move. That is the language of power, spoken without sound. How do you wield this? When someone baits you, pause. Let their words drift. If you respond, keep it short. I see your view. Or, let us keep going. Then stay quiet. That pause unnerves them. They expect a clash, but you offer calm. Their fire sputters, while your strength grows. In conflicts, silence lets you steer without being sucked into the storm. This is not about dodging fights. It is about ruling your inner world so completely that no one can pull you off course. Silence is not absence, it is presence. Sharp and intentional. It shapes outcomes while keeping you untouchable. As we move to the next section, we will see how this quiet power wins, battles others, never even notice, leaving you steady in a noisy world. 4. Silence as your strategic shield. Imagine standing in a storm, untouched, while others scramble for cover. That is the power of silence. Welcome back to our exploration of mastering the art of not arguing. In this section, we uncover how silence acts as a shield, guarding your strength and keeping you untouchable. Let us dive into why refusing to argue is a strategic move that protects your influence in a world that thrives on noise. When you argue, you open the door to chaos. Every word you speak is a crack in your defenses, inviting others to probe your weaknesses. You show your emotions, your biases, your limits. In a debate, you might think you are winning, but you are exposing your soft spots. Those who seek power know this. They watch, waiting for you to slip, to reveal what makes you tick. An argument is a spotlight, and you are the one on stage, bearing your soul. Silence though, is a fortress. It keeps you hidden, unreadable, safe. When you choose not to engage, you deny others the chance to dissect you. You become a shadow they cannot grasp, a presence they cannot challenge. This is not about avoiding conflict. It is about controlling it. Silence lets you stay calm while others lose their grip. It is a shield that absorbs their attacks without giving them anything to hold on to. Think of a skilled diplomat. They do not shout or bicker. They listen, nod, and speak only when it shifts the room. Their silence is not weakness, it is strategy. They know that words can be twisted, turned against you, used to paint you as emotional or unsteady. But silence is untouchable. It leaves no trace for opponents to exploit, no fuel for their fire. It is a wall they cannot climb. This idea echoes ancient wisdom. Strategists like Machiavelli understood that power lies in how you are seen. Argue, and you seem desperate, like you need to prove your worth. Stay silent, and you seem unshakable, like your worth speaks for itself. Perception is everything. In negotiations, relationships, or even tenser meetings, the one who argues risks looking reactive. The one who stays quiet commands respect. Not because they demand it, but because they embody it. Let us talk about vulnerability. When you argue, you show what matters to you, your passions, your fears, your need to be right. That is a map to your heart. And in the wrong hands, it becomes a weapon. Every heated word is a clue, showing where you can be hurt. But silence hides that map. It keeps your inner world private, letting you move without fear of exposure. You stay in control, choosing when and how to reveal yourself. Silence also protects your reputation. Arguments leave scars, not just on you, but on how others see you. A single outburst can make you seem impulsive. Even if your point was valid, people forget the logic. They remember the heat. They whisper about your temper, not your truth. But the person who stays calm, who lets others talk themselves out, builds a different image. They are seen as steady, wise, untouchable. That image is power. Here is another angle. Arguments breed resentment. Even if you win, the other person feels defeated, not convinced. That defeat festers, turning into grudges that linger. In leadership, this is deadly. A manager who argues with their team erodes trust. An executive who defends every choice sparks doubt. But a leader who listens, who stays composed, who acts without explaining every move, they become a pillar, trusted not for their words, but for their presence. Silence gives you leverage. When you do not argue, you watch. You see how others think, what they value, what they hide. That knowledge lets you move with precision, not passion. In a tense moment, the silent one is the one gathering strength, waiting for the right time to act. They do not waste energy on petty fights. They save it for moves that matter, striking when others least expect it. How do you use this? When someone challenges you, pause it. Let their words fill the air. Do not rush to respond. If you speak, keep it brief. Say, "I understand," or "Let us move forward." Then let silence do the rest. That pause makes them question themselves. not you. It shows you are not swayed, not baited. In meetings, stay quiet until your words can shift the tide. In conflicts, let others exhaust themselves while you stay sharp. This is not about being passive. It is about being deliberate. Silence is a choice, a weapon, a shield. It protects your energy, your image, your power. It lets you stay above the chaos, watching while others stumble. That is the strategic edge of not arguing. It keeps you safe, steady, and ready for what comes next. As we head to the next section, we will explore how silence becomes the language of true influence, shaping outcomes without a single word. 5. Why arguments diminish you and silence empowers you. Ever found yourself caught in a heated debate? Pulse racing, words flying, only to regret it later. That is the trap of arguing. Welcome to Mastering the Art of Not Arguing, where silence becomes your greatest ally. In this section, we uncover why diving into verbal battles weakens your stance, and how staying quiet lifts you to new heights of influence. Let us explore this game-changing approach. When you argue, you step into a ring you did not choose. You are pulled into someone else's drama, reacting to their script. Every word you toss out reveals a piece of you, your frustrations, your need to win, your vulnerabilities. It is like handing your rival a guide to your weak spots. By engaging, you show you can be shaken, that you care enough to clash. In the dance of power, that care is a stumble, a sign you are not fully in control. Arguments are not about truth. They are about pride. When you debate, you are not just defending your point. You are guarding your ego. That ego pushes you to speak when you should pause, to fight when you should watch. By arguing, you expose what makes you tick, where you falter. To those who read people like books, that exposure is a treasure. It shows them exactly how to nudge you off balance. Now, imagine choosing silence. Not a timid hush, but a bold, steady, calm. When you refuse to argue, you soar above the chaos. You become a riddle, unshaken by taunts or challenges. Your quiet presence whispers, "I do not need your approval." That calm draws others in. Like moths to a flame, they sense your strength, not because you shout, but because you stand firm, untouched by the noise around you. This is not a new trick. Ancient minds like Sun Tzu saw it clearly. The best wins come without a fight. Why burn energy on a shouting match when you can triumph by staying cool? Arguing drains you, your focus, your peace, your clarity. But silence saves that energy. It keeps your mind sharp, your heart steady, your influence strong. That is the root of true power. Quiet, but unshakable. Here is the kicker. Arguments rarely sway anyone. People cling to their views like lifelines. The harder you push, the more they resist. Your logic might shine, but their ego blocks it. By arguing, you challenge who they are, not what they think. That makes them dig in. Not because you are wrong, but because losing feels like defeat. Your words build walls, not bridges, trapping you in a cycle of clashing wills. Silence, though, disarms. It starves their need for a fight. When you hold back, you leave them swinging at air. their words fading unanswered. In that quiet, your presence grows. You become the one who does not flinch, the one they cannot rattle. That strength stands out. People notice, not your silence, but the power behind it. They wonder what keeps you so steady. And that wonder is your leverage. Arguments also breed conflict. Even if you win, you lose something bigger. The person you debate feels attacked, cornered, small. Those feelings linger, turning into grudges or mistrust. You might score a point, but you risk turning a friend into a foe. Every clash sows seeds of division, making the next fight harder, not easier. That is a price too steep for a fleeting victory. Silence builds bonds. It shows you are not here to dominate, but to listen. When you stay quiet, you let others reveal themselves, their hopes, fears, flaws. That insight is gold. It lets you move with care, not haste. Choosing your steps wisely, you become someone who sees more than they say, earning trust through restraint, not force. In any setting, the loudest voice rarely wins. The one yelling for attention seems desperate, like they need to be heard to matter. But the one who stays calm, who speaks only when it counts, they command the room. Their silence is not weak, it is magnetic. It pulls focus, not by demand, but by being. That is the influence you gain when you skip the argument. Here is how to start when someone baits you. Pause. Feel the urge to snap back, but let it pass. Ask, is this worth my energy? If not, nod. Say, I see your point, or stay silent. That shift keeps you in charge. They might push harder, but you are already ahead. You're calm, unshaken. That is the art of not arguing, staying steady, staying strong, staying untouchable. As we move forward, hold this. Close arguing pulls you down, but silence lifts you up. It is not about giving in, it is about standing tall. Let us carry this into the next section, where we will see how silence shields you from the hidden tolls of verbal battles. That is the power of silence. It is not about dodging fights, it is about winning without words. By mastering the art of not arguing, you become a force, calm, steady. Untouchable. Let others shout, you stay grounded. Your quiet strength shaping outcomes. This journey showed us how silence outsmarts chaos, builds respect, and keeps you in control. Carry this forward. Choose silence. Own your power. Subscribe for more insights. And in the comments, write, stay calm, to remind yourself of this strength. Stay composed. Stay unstoppable. The next step awaits.